coming.
Who?
Rain is coming. Rain.
Okay. We will continue from the previous one. So far we discussed up to conference article. Now we were moving to policy makers or school personals. So the first part, you prepare the proposal. Uh, Based on the proposal, you done your research studies. Once you completed your research report, after completing research study, you are making a research report. After that, you made a journal article. Sometimes you are making journal article, sometimes you are making conference abstract. It depends upon the case, it will vary. Now, from your research report, you are going to make policy, you are going to report, the same report is going to be converted as a policy making report. Or you are going to submit your report to the school personals. So a final type of research report is one that you presented to the practitioner who are in the position of responsibility in education. Maybe you are doing a research in Bolivar University. The research report you are making for the department is different from the management. So you are going to reduce the original report to the management report. Or you can say you are doing a research among the community where the NGO is working. The NGO is the one who facilitates your study. You are going to make two reports. One is the original report is for your department. Another one is for excerpt of the report is going to be given to the NGO. That is called policy makers report. So these individuals, maybe the policy maker in state government or federal government, or the leaders in the school, or such as superintendent or principal, curriculum director or teacher. So you are going to, your specific audience going to be the different persons. So it depends upon the specific audience. You are going to convert your original report into focused audience. So the research report presented to these individuals might be follow these guidelines. So the timing is most important. Don't wait for the final report to come. Maybe you can make the key results. You can make the key results can be given as a immediate report to the policymakers, or you report specific result from your research work. Maybe don't highlight everything. Maybe you can pick a effective point that can be given to the policymakers as a policy brief. You are not writing a original report. You are out of original report. You are going to make policy briefing. You are going to give highlighting the research point, highlighting the research evidences to the policymakers. So you are presenting the result is simply and clearly. You are presenting your research findings in simple and clear terms. Maybe you include one-page executive summary at the beginning of your research report, or obtain clearance from key individuals at present to present your research. So this policy making, this briefing is going to be some sort of a short report which aimed at making some changes in the research site. Specific audience are there. You are going to write, you are going to make a report for specific audience. You are not going to write a report for common audience. That is what policy making reports are required. Usually the slides are okay. So writing, now we discussed 5 different reports. Now we were moving in general writing qualitative research report. How to write? Because this is the one we didn't discuss. The one we discussed, how to, after completing this research report, qualitative research report, how to generate other reports which supposed to have a different type of audience. Now we are going to make the main, we are going to discuss about the main report. So a scientific approach, for making a qualitative research report also, it's a scientific approach, is similar to the quantitative study, in which all or most of the 5 sections, example, introduction, review of literature, methods, results and discussion, should be presented here also. You are not going to make any big changes. You are going to follow the same standard format, because qualitative is also a scientific approach. So any scientific approach or any scientific reporting supposed to have this 5 reportings. 5 chapters must be there in any set of research, either it is qualitative or quantitative. This 5 set of research reports, 5 sections supposed to be a common one: introduction, review of literature, research methods, data analysis, and interpretations, that is called the results. Then recommendations, key results and recommendations, that is called the discussions. It should be available for any type of report. But in qualitative reporting, you are following a type of a storytelling approach. So the structure is same, that the sections are same, but within the sections how to write is differ from qualitative to quantitative. If it is qualitative, you are following storytelling approach. In quantitative, you are following storytelling approach. It can have varied structures. For example, the author uses literary device. For example, if you are using metaphor, analogues, or plot, or climax, or you can say literary device, or persuasive or creative writing to present the study. So any writing style will be vary. Maybe if you are well versed in literary device, you can follow that one, or you are pervasive writer, you can do. If you are a creative writer, you can do that style. A thematic approach includes extensive discussion about major themes that arise from the analysis of a qualitative database. Because you are in your data analysis, you are going with a code. Then your codes can be converted as a category. Categories are converted as a themes. So each theme, you are going to your discussion supposed to be centered around the themes. So in your qualitative reporting, the thematic approach you are following means you are going to discuss extensive discussion about major themes. If you are discussing about background information about the study, background of the participants, you are going to discuss all sort of variables. If you are discussing about particular sub-themes, you are going to explain the theme first, then what are all the variables you find out, you are comparing, you are differentiating. Within the theme, you are doing everything. So often these themes are interrelated and incorporated within the specific qualitative designs, maybe rounded theory or ethnography or narrative or anthropological design. Based on the design, you are going to incorporate your reporting style. So if you are using descriptive approach, then it incorporates a detailed description of people and place to carry out your narratives. Where you did the study, you are going to describe in detail about description of the people you studied or the place you studied. You are going to in detailed way you are going to narrate the place and the people. Maybe a study in this model might convey a typical day in the life of an individual. For example, if you are writing a narrative study, you can titled in your study may be titled a life of a fisherman in a day, or life of a farmer in a day. You are going to explain vast manner from the day, from morning to till tomorrow morning. You are going to explain whatever activity he is doing. You are going to narrate that one. If it is in a theoretical approach, then when authors either started with a theory or for example theoretically oriented case study, maybe you are explaining theory first, then you are giving the case. So a theoretical approach is when author is either started with a theory, ends with a theory, or modified an existing theory based on the view of the participants. You are explaining theory in the beginning, also you are ending the theory in the middle, in the end. So in between you are putting the case to support your theories. If you are writing a grounded theory report. If it is an experimental or alternative or performance report or performance approach report, maybe include this kind of reporting, a qualitative research in the form of poem, fictional story, drama, or highly personalized account called auto ethnography. So it will vary type of reporting. It will vary according to the approach you are used. In general, the qualitative research follow the following reporting structure. It should have a front page matters, front page matter supposed to be front pages. It will come around 7 to 10 pages. Consider as a front page. You are not going to put any page number for front pages. It should go with the italic numbers. You have a front page, then title page, then preface and acknowledgement. These are all the optional things. Front page is must, title page is must, but remaining things it's an optional one. Preface and acknowledgement, it's an optional. Table of content, it's optional. List of tables, list of figures, abstract of the study. So these are all the things are considered as a front page. In your research report, you are not going to put page number for front page matters. You are supposed to put italic numbers. It is not considered total number of pages. That's what I am trying to say here. Then body of the report, it should carry introduction. Within the introduction, you need to explain statement of the problem, purpose of study, your research questions. Then procedures, what procedure you are used, rationale for qualitative approach, sample and cite, access and permissions, data gathering strategy, data analysis approach you are explaining in the second part. Third part, findings, description of the site or individuals, analysis of themes you are going to explain. Then discussions, major findings, comparison of findings with the existing studies, limitations, implication of future research, then overall significance of the study. The same way pack matters, reference, appendix. This also not considered as a page numbers. You are just leave it up to discussions. Pack matters were not considered total number of pages. So the page numbers will come only up to the end of the discussions. Pack matters not considered for your overall research report number of pages. So I am showing some qualitative study report which done by me. How the way it was formatted, you can see as an reference, or you can see as an example. So there is a study I did in 2016, socioeconomic assessment and monitoring for coastal villages using resources from Gulf of Mannar and Parkway of India, done by me and another one person. These are the table of content I followed. If you want, I can able to give this material for reference. So I am using a table of content. I am using list of figures, list of table, even list of boxes I mentioned. So now we are almost reaching the final part. When you are writing a qualitative study, there are sensitive and ethical and scholarly writing practice we need to follow. In general, any report if you are writing, you need to follow this sensitive, ethical and scholarly writing practice you need to follow. In addition to the understanding of the structure of the report or structure of the study, the researcher engaged in good writing practice when they compose a research report. They should be sensitive to individuals and use language that reduces bias. You should not go around. You should come to the point straight away. So you need to be sensitive to individuals and use languages that reduce the bias. You should not give option to people to think. You should give straight answers. Use appropriate research terms. So that's why I'm saying if you are using, don't use the general terms. You try to use the research terms. So you need to use common research terms that you need. If you are reading reports, you can able to come up with terms. Terms will become easily. Then write and report the findings ethically. You should not manipulate. You should report. You should write and report the findings ethically. You should not manipulate the numbers, or you should not manipulate the wordings. So you should use what people are telling, what the analysis will arrive. So you need to use ethically. You should not manipulate. Then employ a point of view consistently with quantitative and qualitative approach. You should be consistent in your numbers, consistent in your wordings. Maybe one place you are using some terms, other place you are using different terms. It will confuse the audience. So you need to balance the research and content. You need to interconnect the part of the study. Then you need to advance a concise titles. So each title of the research or subtitle or paragraph title, whatever may be, you need to be very crispy. What you are writing in the paragraph, the title needs to be reflect the same. You need to be concise your title. I'm giving an example. There are set of standard for evaluating quality of your qualitative research. Maybe there are three authors were taken as an example for measuring the quality of the qualitative research report. Um, so Linglon, 1995, the philosophical criteria he is given. Then Craswell, 2007, he gave procedural criteria. Then Richardson, participatory and advocacy criteria he gave. So you can, I'm not asking you to go through these things, but you can read these things. You can able to get enrich your knowledge. What kind of philosophical criteria you need to follow when you are writing qualitative research? What kind of procedural criteria you need to follow? You can, when you go through, you can able to get these things. Then criteria for participatory and advanced criteria. Advanced criteria you can go through Richardson guidelines. When you go through, you can able to understand these things very easily. There is a checklist for making a process of quantitative study. If you are writing a title, the title, does it reflect the major independent and the dependent variable or not? Does it express either comparison among the groups or relationship among the variables? Does it convey the participants and site of the study? So when you are framing the title, either it reflects the site or it reflects the participants or it reflects the key research independent variables or dependent variables. Then if it is in a problem statement, does it indicate an educational issue to study, or has author provided evidence that issue is important? So these are the guidelines how to follow, how to do the process. So data collections and data analysis, writing style, each activity where these are all the indicators you can see. There are research questions. What are the several broad theoretical issues associated with writing qualitative research? The issues which you need to consider. You need to find out theoretical issue associated with writing a qualitative study. What are all the theoretical structure for writing a study within each of the 5 approaches you inquired in a qualitative study? What are all the embodied theoretical structure for writing a study within each of the 5 approaches you inquired? How do the narrative structure for 5 approaches? 5 approaches differ from each approach, one approach to another approach. So there is an assignment question also. Show that you understand the overall and embodied theoretical structure for writing within your approach of inquiry by drafting completely narrative for using your approach. Maybe you choose one approach. For that approach, what kind of research reporting format you are going to evolve. That's what the first assignment is asking. So develop a plan for narrative structure for study within your approach of inquiry. To do this, design a matrix with 2 columns and 7 rows. On the first column, list several writing criteria which was given in the notes. The overall writing approach, strategies to display, reflexivity, representation, and not necessarily go everything. Maybe you can choose a narrative structure for your study, then come up with what are all the area you need to follow. What is the philosophical approach? What is the procedural approach? What is the participatory approach you need to follow? Something like that. So many assignments are there for your individual assignments. For your individual assignments, you need to pick 2 assignments, because the group assignment is going to be for 30 marks, individual assignment is for 20 marks. So you can pick any 2 questions from it's starting from unit 1 to unit 7. Any question, it is up to you to choose. So you can choose any questions, write your assignment your own. Don't wait for me to give, because the questions were already given. You choose which one is you are very much comfortable. You choose the questions, you write the assignment, submit as much as possible early. Don't forget, still you are not submitting your previous assignments also. So
Okay.
you have ample time, you can submit.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Shall we end? We will meet this week. Huh?
What?
This week we will meet.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay. Thank you.